The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. Brought to you by Levi Solicitors. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Dan, Michael and Moscow. Michael?
Hello? Yes?
Shall we, as our legal expert, our coaching expert, what do you want to talk about first? Should we do legal expert first?
Of course.
Because we love Levi Solicitors.
Commercial dispute resolution, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep. I mean, like, explain a time that you've experienced that. You know, it's like a job interview where they say, explain a time where you've overcome a problem kind of thing. Tell me about your...
Where I overcome a commercial dispute resolution?
Yeah.
Well, I've never had to because I'd use Levi Solicitors.
That is a really good answer. What else do they do? I mean, in terms of personal law, wills, probate?
Wills, probate and conveyancing are all things that they definitely do.
Do you know what else they do?
Go on.
Remote appointments. You can book them online and you can do them from the comfort of your own home. Did you know that? Were you aware of that?
I have heard that before. Yeah.
It's been mentioned.
Yeah, I heard it on a podcast, I think.
Good lad. Good lad. Yeah. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Into part 3, and part 3 is Heroes and Villains. We'll also keep track on the Wheeling Onto of the Year award. Ken Bates, Villain of the Week. Right, our candidates. Bruno Fernandes is obviously going to win this. Scum fans, some pelters for the board, as you might understand in what's been a week of turbulence at Ellen Road. Jesse Marsh gets a solitary nomination. And Scoobs, we can rule this one out. Pete is saying Scoobs for his subs lost us the game against Man United.
Yeah.
Trying his best.
They didn't really work, but...
No.
I think the only hint, I thought Bamford was looking tired, but then you hear, you saw his reaction and also Luke Ayling's reaction when it was happening. But maybe in the new atmosphere where the manager actually doesn't just pretend to listen but does listen, maybe during the week they'll be able to say, look, Scoobs, Bamford will be like, I could have played a bit longer. You didn't have to take me off. And then Luke backing him up and he may run him into the ground on Saturday.
Great.
begging to come off, and he's like, no, you told me not.
Yep. Scoobs has been saying about his management style that it's all
when Tyler Roberts was broken and he made him stay on, when Jesse Marsh made him stay on.
He's not afraid to take decisions, is what Scoobs has been saying, that he'll listen to everybody, but then he is not afraid to have the final say. So maybe it'll be maybe 10 minutes in, he's like, right, get Bamford off.
Pat Bamford's fully Bert Troutman, and he has to stay on. Hobbling around.
Right.
There's one for the kids.
The shattered spine.
Right, we've got Bruno Fernandes, who is leading the charge here. I mean, he's got to have this, surely. I can't think of a better candidate.
Wedge says, just look at his face, for crying out loud. And Dr. Pussy, which is a great name, says the Suarez brother from an even uglier other mother, which is damning.
Yeah, I mean, West Ham Ralph, scum-looking bastard rat twat, for example.
The one where he just sat down.
Yeah,
that was the upsetting one.
I want the game stopped, so I'm going to sit down. I'll probably hold my head for a bit just to make sure.
He had his back to the play as well. I think that's what was the real petulance about it. He was right up our end, and we were attacking.
He's the sort of southwest corner direction.
Yeah, and he just sat with his back to the game, waiting for the referee to come over and go, "Are you all right?" And it was just.
Did the ref not time to get up at that point, and then eventually? Allowed him either treatment or whatever.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, he was making it clear that he wasn't going to stop the game because he didn't think he was injured, and then we went and had quite a long running attack, but he just stayed sitting there. And I don't know what else you do. It is the logic of a 2-year-old, because you will know better than me as parents. But there just probably comes a point when your child is doing something where you can't reason with them, because they're too young for the reasoning. They're not going to take it in. Here are the reasons why your behaviour is kind of unreasonable and you can't do this. You just got to go on that. All right, what's wrong?
What is it, darling?
Yeah, except we're talking about a grown adult professional,
but with
footballer.
a very kickable face. If you saw Bruno Fernandes on a street corner getting beaten up, and it's getting increasingly violent, what's your threshold for intervening? At what point would you say, come on, that's enough now?
Sometimes it's best to turn a blind eye.
To violence. To street violence?
Only now and then. Sometimes it's better not to involve yourself in things.
Too many vigilantes, aren't there, already?
Exactly.
You just become another statistic.
Don't be have a go hero.
I don't know the backstory, do I?
Yeah.
I know enough of Bruno Fernandes' backstory to just...
Yeah.
Do you need any help, lads? No, it's fine. You seem to be doing fine. Don't kick Bruno Fernandes to death, but Bruno Fernandes, get off the fucking floor.
Ironically, if someone was beating him up, he probably would be on the floor with just cause. So, The board have got some pelters directed at them for. Graham says he's the board Victor Orta for being like Llorente but with air miles.
Bless him. Do we know exactly what he was in Holland for? Was it Slot or was it Schroeder, or do we not? Was it a bit of both?
Banging on the door of any Dutch club when he's trying to get. I don't know where Jordan Pataka is. Yeah, well, I think he has been flying out for the talks, hasn't he? We have spoken to, or Victor Orta has spoken to the guys in Rayo, and then Holland.
What a life!
Those are the two places he has been.
Just flying around places.
Yeah, so
talking about football.
Negotiations have happened, and I guess they're all with the people that we've heard about, but they've all been
fruitless.
Turning him away, like Joseph and Mary.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Philip does say the board is making Chilino look like a master strategist right now, which is.
Well, he's always got a coach available.
I was going to say he always used to get often the coach he'd fired a few months before as poor old Pep Clotet has found out recently.
Has Philip inadvertently undermined his own point because his sign off here is get a fucking proper manager in or stop pissing around and let Scoobs do it. So have they not followed your brief there?
Yeah, I mean, this week since they stopped Schroeder in his tracks and sent him away again, giving it to Scoobs, it's like we were saying on the first show. I feel like it's the first sensible decision they've made in the whole thing. The only one that doesn't feel tinged with it's either Radrizzani desperately tweeting that it's done, or we're chasing after trying to get managers who've all got very happy jobs and lovely lives and trying to convince them to get involved in our madness and all this kind of stuff. It's like okay, Scoobs has had 2 good games. It will take some of the heat off if we just say Everton, he's doing it. Southampton, he's probably doing it, and we're going to try and find someone. And hopefully, as a part of all that as well, they maybe got all together and go, right, while we do this, while Scoobs is running the team, how about we all shut up? And at that moment, you're looking at Andrea Radrizzani and you really, how about we all of us, not just one person, but all of us.
Andrea, put your phone down. We're at the table, Andrea. We're at the table. No phones at the table.
Airplane mode only. You can play on your games, but no data connection.
So it just needed that, and that's been good. But then getting us into this situation in the first place, because I've been seeing that phrase kind of knocking around that must have been distributed from the club, where it's like the club feel that they made the right decision at the right time. But it reminds me of when Peter Ridsdale always says that about his last sort of 6 months in the job at Leeds, where he's like, I had to make those decisions. Selling Jonathan Woodgate, like there was no other choice. I had to make those hard decisions, and other people may not have made those hard decisions that saved the club. And it's like, yes, Peter, but the reason you had to make those hard decisions was because the 2 or 3 years leading up to it, everything you had been doing was completely wrong. It's like, yes, but I made the hard decisions. And there's been an element of that with this as well. It's like they feel that the decision to sack Jesse Marsh, even though they haven't got a replacement, it was the right decision at the right time.
I made the hard decision.
You hired him.
I made the hard decision to evacuate the helicopter cockpit because I'd just driven the helicopter into the floor.
I was going to say I've been spending all morning clearing shit off those bed sheets.
I made the hard decision to put them in the washer.
Whose shit was it? Well, yes. If we're going to get into that, fine. But still, I've cleaned it up. Well, sort of. It's in a bin bag on the driveway.
And we need to address the chanting, by the way, and that's why the Scum fans were nominated. I think, given the tone of this podcast, it goes without saying that we don't want to trivialise discussions around murder and death. We spoke about it on one of the previous shows. Yes, obviously, despicable is well worthy of villainy, but this is a light-hearted show, and we'd rather just dig out Bruno Fernandes and have a laugh about it, I think. It's
the annual villain nomination, isn't it? Twice annual, whenever we play them.
Yeah, so
which leaves us back with Jesse Marsh for his... and I think Jason Kay has a point that possibly the worst thing Jesse Marsh has done at Leeds. He did some good things. I don't mean to be completely horrible, but bringing on Rodrigo at Accrington Stanley, because Jorginho Rutter looking not quite ready in the game on Sunday did suggest, like, it was just, imagine if we'd been able to bring Rodrigo on instead, just for the experience and the ability to press from the front and like do what Bamford had been doing and score some goals as well, which he's been doing all season. Well, we can't have it because Jesse Marsh decided. Well, and even then, yeah, let's get into it. The justification is like, I wanted to see how he would play with Pat Bamford as a 2
for 30 seconds.
Yes, so within minutes he'd taken Bamford off as well, and then.
Are you suggesting just to check, Moscow, that there was a lack of foresight there?
Well, I mean,
and there was a lack of foresight from the board in terms of when to get rid of him. It's almost like.
Well, I mean, they can't see the future, and things overtake them. And I'm never actually an advocate of not playing a footballer in a game in case they get injured, because injuries can happen at any time. It can happen in training.
I mean, apart from the fact that you've just dug out Jesse Marsh for doing exactly that.
Well, it's specifically annoying after it's happened. But also in these circumstances, it didn't feel necessary. Like, if it is 0-0 in a cup match, you're about to kick off, and you want a strong team, and if a player that in your strong team gets injured, I think that's unfortunate. But you've got a good case saying we wanted to try and win the game. If you're 3-0 up and coasting, then it was pretty. And you've got some youth players there that you want to give more time to get some more experience. Well, the more useful thing, instead of seeing him play with Bat Bamford for 6 minutes as a 2 against a League One team, which is what it ended up being and was the justification. How much did we learn from that compared to what a little bit longer for Matteo Joseph might have meant? Didn't we have? We had who was the other player on the bench? Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more time for Sonny Perkins on the pitch would have been better than hobbling not just Rodrigo, but our hopes.
It's amazing that when this came up at the time, we kind of just skirted around it and excused it. And now he's being fired, proper digging him out for it. Anyway, it's Fernandez who's having it.
Of course.
Yeah, for being rat-faced. Player of the Year award before we get into the Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week. Scores from the most recent Scum game. Luke Ayling ended up getting man of the match, 8.2.
He's had a very good week as Luke.
Yeah, some decent scores all round, barring the odd one here and there. Everybody above 6, just about. Scoobs in the gang got over 7, which is good. Junior Firpo, 3rd. He got the bronze medal there.
His highest ever score.
7.15 out of 10.
Good player. Yeah. Always said so.
Definitely. Speaking of discrediting Marsh, by the way, as we were just doing, I'm going to take away from him something I gave last week as well.
Has there been a steward's inquiry?
I noticed that the formula feeding into his score included the Scoobs score from Scum, which had pushed him above an average of 5.
Because, I mean, I want to say very, very much that it is quite a complex spreadsheet that we've got this on.
Well, it's, average, isn't it? It's just average scores.
I mean, it felt complex to me when I was setting that bit up.
I know you're hugely proud of it, but But you did very well. You did very well.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so Scoobs didn't have his own line added in at that point. He was still on the Jesse Marsh line. So it had bumped him up to over 5. His actual score was 4.85, which quite pleasingly pushes him below Diego Llorente, who was on 4.89. So well done, Jesse. Basically, the 2 people at the bottom of this sheet, we've seen fit to get the fuck out.
Maybe the board are doing the right things.
So, if they've got access to this sheet, check the permissions.
Check the share permissions.
Shared with Angus Kinnear.
Let me have a look. Share. Oh yeah, there they are. It's us lot, and yeah.
So they're keeping
everybody at the domain leedsunited.com.
There you go, perfect.
Wow, didn't expect that.
So the bottom of the table to start from the bottom, it is Jesse Marsh 4.84, Diego Llorente 4.89, Matteo Joseph, Joel Robles also more impressive than our manager.
All the ones at the bottom are basically players who haven't played very much, so you can't really score them anything.
No, but it's funny to point this out.
But Junior's average has been dragged up. Jorginho Ruta, let's hope he produces more between now and the end of the season before we start demonising him. Right, your main candidates, by the way, for the Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award.
Oh, we didn't cover the top of that table, by the way. Willie Nonto still way ahead, 7.6. Then we're into Verba at 7 and Tyler Adams just below, 6.99.
He is behind Scoobs, though.
He is.
Scoobs was a player, he'd be our best one.
I just want to reinforce, just again for the record, that we are going to have a trophy made for Willie Nonto when he wins this, by the way.
Okay.
Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award. Scoobs is leading the way on nominations here. Nominations for Ayling, Nonto and Verba.
I think Ayling actually had the most nominations today, which is right, I think, because of the week he'd had. I know it's weird because a couple of goals did essentially come from his side, didn't they, in the end? But I think what he gave to that point was enough that you go,
And there's a lot of legacy credit there as well, isn't there?
We'd probably have been 3 down if he hadn't played so well before we conceded. So it's basically everybody else's fault for not scoring while he was playing well and while he was fit and up to speed. And then by the 70 minutes of prime Ayling, if we didn't take the lead in that time. Probably similar at Old Trafford, I guess, because this does include that, because we did get 2-0 up with prime Ayling, but just we faded it off just too soon, didn't we?
I'm tempted, It's a bit of a left field one, but Junior Firpo.
He's nominated.
Well, this is best ever. There have been better Luke Ayling moments than this, haven't there?
I mean, that yellow card was brilliant at Old Trafford because it was just so blatant and annoying for the opposition.
Well, it was professional, is what it was.
Yeah. So he did his job really well.
Yeah.
And then he was good at Ellen Road.
In that situation, there was not a thing he could have done that was better than just hopping onto his back.
And I just think maybe giving him this award is just a really nice story arc.
Tyler Adams wants to have his say, though. And he's nominated, and as is McKennie. Do we have to nominate them together now for everything?
Yeah.
Adams and McKennie is the new partnership.
Yeah, the early tackles from those two were great. The raw that got was like, come on.
Seeing Jadon Sancho go up in the air with a perfectly good tackle, and he only went up in the air because he basically rolled off. Was it Adams who made that tackle or McKennie?
Yeah, that was Adams.
Yeah.
Was that one.
He sort of rolled off him and up into the air, which was great.
The McKennie one was where he managed to slide tackle him with such force he managed to concuss the bloke on the way down because his head smashed into the ground.
And this is it. This is a good thing. Scoobs said that he loves this partnership. I think I might start to love this partnership because what you just described there, imagine that happens to you. You're Jadon Sancho and you go spinning up in the air, and Tyler Adams has done it to you, and then you look up and there's Weston McKennie standing there.
Yes,
or Weston McKennie tackles you. And
don't mess with my mate.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh God, that guy's really battered me. And you look next to you and it's like Tyler Adams is standing there. It's like, fucking hell. This is what's going to happen into Everton's midfield on Saturday while Deitch stands on the sidelines begging his players to get stuck in and stand up to the... What would Sean Dyche protest or ask his players to do if he saw his 3 midfield players being battered around by a couple of soccer players?
Into these fucking rounders, boys.
There we go. That's what we needed.
Some outline nominations. Bamford gets one from Jason for being the glue to hold this shit show together, seemingly.
Yeah, you can't sub him off, can you? Whether he wants to or not. He'll be begging to come off soon.
Who are you putting forward then? Who are you nominating personally?
Kevin's mentioned Nathan Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wolves going down to 10 was to our detriment. I think it was Jonathan Liu made a great point in The Guardian, was like,
That's a great article, by the way.
People just needed to enjoy him more. And like, what was he picked out, he said there will never be a funnier phrase than, I want to test myself at the highest level, and that's with no disrespect to Welsh women. There's just...
Yeah.
Nobody else is ever going to give you that, so Nathan Jones can have a little...
And if you haven't heard it yet, go back to this week's propaganda because he features in that. There's a mashup with Nathan Jones and Paul Sykes, who is... describe him for anybody who doesn't know Paul Sykes. We've got American listeners, for example.
Paul Sykes...
He's a bad person.
A complete bastard, it's what I'm saying. But a former boxer and general wrong and spent a lot of time in prison from Wakefield. But he did a documentary, part of which he's in prison, part of which he's released from prison. It's all on YouTube, actually. It's called... I can't remember, just search Paul Sykes documentary.
Yeah.
There's a long thing. He's eccentric and deluded.
And remarkably similar to Nathan Jones when you put the 2 clips together.
Yeah. But no, I think the West Southampton have missed out is having Jesse in alongside Nathan Jones.
Oh, the dream.
Because that would have been great. I watched the Nathan Jones training session, actually. Southampton put one on YouTube when he first joined. It looks shit. He's just as bad in that as you'd expect. I can't actually believe they put it out.
Hey, lads, breaking news. Right this very second, as we're discussing Luke Ayling, he's had his contract extended by a year. Is this the sign that we need to give him this award?
Ah, that's nice. I'm glad he's had it extended because he's earned it. Oh, mind you, he's bloody earned it now. That's why he's playing well, is it?
Yeah, he's extended till the summer of 2024, so an extra year.
No, I think. He's still our best right back, isn't he?
Yes.
So, yeah, keep him.
So should we give him this then, as well as a new contract? He gets this award.
Yeah,
on the same day.
There is the argument has been that these players, maybe they need to fade from view, maybe they're over the hill, maybe we need them more than ever.
Ayling then?
Yep. Well done.
Congratulations, Luke Ayling. Keep it up, young man. Keep it up. And who's he got to deal with on the left-hand side? Is it Dwight McNeil this weekend he'll be dealing with?
Will be, yeah.
Wow.
No problem.
Need Alioski there to pull faces at him again, which hurt his feelings so badly.
Well, there you go. Weekly show wrapped up for you. We'll be back with another weekly show next week because they're weekly. That is the idea.
Try and do it every week.
Hence the name. What's to come the rest of this week? Well, look out for the Phil Hay show on Friday. We've got the match ball over the weekend, post Everton, and then back into another round of fun for the following week. Phil Hay back on his show as well for Monday.
Oh, he's going to actually bother, is he?
I know. Sick of him. Lazy. We'll speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.